Okay, I just wanted to say on this episode of Brunch N Banter, I realized that I was telling a story about, I want to say about like maybe 30 minutes in, 40 minutes in. I was telling a story and I realized I was saying people's names and I wanted to bleep them out, but it was like maybe like 4 people. So I went in and did a little bit of a voiceover saying friend A, friend N, and friend Y, I believe. So I just wanted to explain that. And here's the episode. Enjoy. Welcome back to another episode of Brunch N Banter. Today we will be discussing friendships and our experiences with different styles of friendships. Okay, so I think when you're kids, it's a lot easier to make friends, mostly because you're in school, like elementary school or something. I think it's a lot easier because you find friendships in the classmates that you have, rather than as an adult, you find friends maybe at your workplace, but other than that, you have to like really put yourself out there to find friendships. So like for me, like my book club, I found a couple people who I know who seem like nice people, but I also went in it with the girl from the gym. So like that's how I make friends right now. Like I make friends either through work, through the gym, or through my book club. But other than that, I feel like it's hard to make friends because you're not around people like how you were when you were a kid.
Well, yeah, because when you're in school, you see them every day,
Yeah.
Monday
Mm-hmm.
through Friday for what, like 8 hours a day. So it's like almost not a forced friendship, but it's just easier to make
Yeah.
friends because you're gonna see them every single day. And the same thing with work, they're if they've been working there for a long time too, you can make some really good friends because you see them almost every single day too, for however long your shift is. And
Mm-hmm.
then obviously when you're not working anymore or you're not in school, it's harder to make friends because uh you're not going to see the person every single day. But I have heard that it's easier to make friends when you go, like, let's say you go to a coffee shop every day of the week from like 3 to 4 p.m. Most likely you'll see the same people there, and maybe eventually you can talk to them and see how they're doing and make friends that way.
Mm-hmm. I do think that when you're younger and in school, because you're on the same schedule, you're just bound to make friends because you're all going to recess together and, you guys are working on the same project or subject. So you just naturally talk to other kids about it. And as an adult, it requires more effort and it requires to either have like the same hobbies, like Adi said, or the same interest, and definitely takes more initiative.
Mm-hmm.
And to like be social and like meet people through the same friend group and just kind of mingle with like mutual friends. But I think in order to stay friends, you do need to have, you know, not maybe the same mindset, but the same interests and
Mm-hmm.
hobbies, because that's usually what you do when you hang out. You guys do
Yeah.
something that you guys both enjoy together, or that as couples that you guys enjoy together, whether it's going out for drinks, dinner and drinks, or going out wine tasting, or um, taking a trip somewhere, or hanging out at someone's house. It definitely does require more effort, especially because everyone's on a different schedule, and then families get, start being created, and then kids get
Uh-huh.
involved, and it just definitely requires more effort because everyone's on a different schedule, and life happens. So I feel like you also lose touch, and
Mm-hmm.
it depends on whether you can like rekindle and get back to where you left off, whether it was like a
Yeah.
week ago or like 6 months ago, because life does happen. And, whether you take on a new hobby or you add on another job or you get a different job and now your schedule's different. Like,
or you move.
Yeah, I feel like it was definitely easier, but I mean, how many of those friends do you still have as an adult,
It's like,
as when you were a kid? Like, yeah, maybe one or two you're still really good friends with, but the majority of them, like, you were friends because you guys were in the same class and you guys just kind of went through grade school together.
Yeah.
Like, I remember, I think when I switched from, I think it was elementary, I was in 7th grade at one school, and then I moved to 8th grade at a different school because it had just been built. And I think most of the people that I met in that 7th grade, I don't even talk to anymore. And I think I ran into one later in life, and she didn't even remember who I was. And I was just like, dang, that's so sad.
Yeah, but I mean,
like,
that's like a lot of time that has happened in between.
Yeah.
And I do believe that people are in your life for a reason. What is it? A reason, a season, or a lifetime?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then also, like you were saying, to like maintaining even just friendships is so hard because you go through your adult life and you have all these other hobbies that you have, and then you have these friends that maybe you've had since childhood that you guys just don't mesh as much anymore, but you try to keep it active friendship, but it's hard, you know?
Yeah. Plus, it is a two-way street, you know?
Mm-hmm.
You can't have all the effort from one person and then the other person not even giving much effort at all.
I low-key felt like that happened to me once, and I feel like I let it kind of like get to me, and it's hard for me to put an effort to friendship sometimes because I feel like it's going to happen again where I just put in all this effort and it's not reciprocated, and then I'm just kind of like left on the side.
Oh, yeah.
But I feel like you also kind of know, just depending on the vibe, like if you're not getting the same effort back, you kind of know, like maybe you won't be best friends, maybe you'll just be like friends or even acquaintances where, yeah, you guys tried, you guys are cool with each other, but it's just somebody that when you see out, you say hi and you talk to, but it's not somebody that you necessarily make the effort to go hang out with, you know?
Yeah.
And even then though, like I think I have a friend currently that like I try sometimes to make an effort to see them, and like it'll feel like they're trying, but then like something always tends to happen where we can't hang out, you know? And it's like over and over again, we're just kind of like, well, should I even make plans with this person anymore, you know?
Yeah.
But then I feel bad because I'm just like, well, I could still try. Like, it's not going to hurt me just to try.
At least you can say you tried.
Yeah, that's true. Has ever had like jealousies in friendships?
I have once. It happened in high school where I had a friend group I hung out with during lunch, and one of the girls I knew more and longer than the other one, and so I would talk to the new one more, to get to know her, and my friend that I knew longer, she was like, "You don't even talk to me, or you just ignore me." And I'm like, "I'm not ignoring you, I promise." But, just tried to include our newer friends, to try to get to know them, to see, if we have like similar interests and how we can include them more, like hanging out outside of school. But I'm not friends with like half of those friends anymore, so you can see how that went.
Is it the one I'm thinking about?
Yes, it is the one that you're thinking of.
Oh, okay. I think I had it one time too where me and this one friend, we had been friends for, I don't know, like 3 years or something. And she met somebody, new girl, and she started bringing her around, and the girl said that she knew me from high school, but I didn't remember her. And I was like, okay, well maybe, but I mean, like, my high school was like pretty big, you know? And then she started calling me by some other name, and I was like, no, that's not my name. I'm like, this is my name. And then me and my friend, this girl, we had matching shirts, and this new girl was like, oh, our friend in common said that we should all get matching shirts. So then I mentioned it to my good friend, and she's like, no, that's what my mom said. I told her that story, but that's what my mom said, that we should all get matching shirts. So like she was trying to like include herself a lot, where like because me and my friend would do a lot of things together, and we would like get similar stuff. So she was trying to include herself in there to like, I don't know, it was just kind of weird. Like I had weird vibes from her. Like I felt like she was trying to push me out in a way.
She said if she can't be friends with her, no one can.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
What about you, Chad? Have you ever had any weird relationships that are like in friendships where there's jealousy or some kind of a rivalry?
I'm trying to think, but I don't think I have. No, I think if there ever was rivalry, I think we just kind of like ended the friendship mutually. Like it wasn't really like a big deal. But I mean, it really wasn't a friendship if it ended like that, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So I don't think there was ever like jealousy. Like I think it was more like being a girl's girl, you know, and always like being there for people.
Dang, Chad's been in healthy friendships.
Well, I mean, no and yes, but I mean, you keep the friendships that are like worth it.
Yeah.
And like the other friendships that you see are probably gonna go that route. I feel like I just don't stay committed to them and then think the point gets across type of thing.
Yeah. Like I thought me and
Imagine.
her name is that the one that had a similar name to me? I don't know if you guys remember her.
Oh yeah.
I just don't want to mention names, you know. Like me and her, I felt like
Wait, you can say a name and then just take it out.
I know. But
Or bleep it out.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, me and her, I felt like we were like such good friends. Like I thought we were gonna be like lifetime friends, you know. I don't know what happened. I think
Yeah, you guys got along really well.
yeah, and then I don't know what happened. I think she either I don't know if I grew the friendship, if it was maybe I was like really busy with work or something, or if it was when she moved with her man. Yeah, I don't know if it was because we outgrew the friendship or if it was because she moved in with her man.
You guys were still friends. I didn't know you guys were still friends at that point.
I mean, we would talk and she would tell me. Like, I remember her being together with him, and I remember her telling me that she was hanging out with him a lot.
Oh, I didn't know you guys still talked.
Like,
you know how talking to
her sister.
Yeah. In high school.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna say anything about that.
I feel like maybe you guys just outgrew the friendship because, like, her life was taking a different course.
Maybe that's what it was. I mean, we were like a couple ages apart too.
Chad, did I ever tell you why me and her sister stopped talking?
Was it over a guy?
No, it was over homework.
Yeah.
Oh my, really?
Uh-huh.
Okay, you see, that definitely wasn't like a friendship.
Exactly.
We either had the same teacher, but a different, like, class time. And I had done, or maybe it was the same teacher, different semester. But I had done a project that she was gonna do, and I told her that I would go to her house to help her do it. And then I told my mom, and then my mom said I couldn't because she knew that I'd probably end up doing all the work. So then I told her that I couldn't because my mom said I couldn't, and then she never spoke to me again.
Yeah, you see, I think when like friendships end like that, either it was already on a bad course or it just wasn't a friendship that was meant to be. Because I feel like true friendships, like over something little like that, you just kind of like, oh, okay, well, and next time.
Yeah, you kind of overlook it in a true friendship.
Yeah, like it's not a big deal. You're just like, oh, okay, don't worry, like we'll figure it out. Or, instead, if you couldn't go to the house, then you're like, okay, what's plan B? Like, can we get on the phone? Now technology is so advanced, like FaceTime, and then, we'll figure it out together. Because I remember in high school, I wouldn't go to my friends' houses, but we would call each other like, hey, are you working on the homework? Yeah, are you? And then we would like, be on the phone, and I'm like, okay, well, what'd you do for this one? Or what'd you do for that one? And I feel like, if you're really friends, you guys just make it work, which goes back to putting an effort into it.
Yeah, I honestly don't know what happened after. Like, I don't remember anything past that.
I didn't even know you guys had classes together.
Yeah. It wasn't together, but we had the same teacher.
I know she was also kind of mad that, like, your brother Chad wasn't into her.
Oh my god, my brother's always having problems.
For real?
Not really, but...
No. I had a story and I can't remember what it was right now.
Was it about what we were talking about?
Kind of. It was more like when like friendships end. Like for me, I felt like there was these two girls that I was really really good friends with. And they moved to a different city. You know what I'm talking about right now? Yes. And I remember.
L and J.
No, I and J.
And J. Oh, I and J.
Yeah.
Oh yes, it was I.
Yeah,
L.
and then I remember when they first moved, I would always like text them and I would go visit them and I would hang out with them. But then I remembered when they would come to town, they would never hit me up. Never ever hit me up to tell me like, "Hey, I'm in town, let's hang out." And to me, that showed how much effort I put in that they wouldn't put in. And I just kind of let the friendship fizzle out. I just didn't want to put any time, you know? I didn't see
Yeah.
the point. And I
Yeah.
think they were friends with this girl who didn't like me because I made a comment and it was messed up. I made a messed up comment. We were at my house. We were at my house. We were eating
She's gonna
something.
own up to it.
I am. We were at my house and we were eating. I don't remember what the fuck we were eating. Probably pizza or something. And we were watching a movie. Excuse me. We were watching a movie, and I turned off the lights because we were watching a movie. And the girl's like, "Oh, can you turn it back on? Because I can't see or something like that, or I'm trying to eat." And I was like, "Oh, you don't know where your mouth is."
Mm.
But I meant it as a joke. I didn't realize it was that mean. And I think after that, she started saying how my mom was mean, and I don't know what. Or she was talking about my mom or
Oh my
something.
God.
And
Wait.
you don't mess with my
That's why
mama.
you say keep my mama's name out your mouth.
That's literally what I told her. I found out through one of the girls that she had said that. And I texted her. I was like, just so you know, I know what you said about my mom. And if you have an issue with my mother, you can come and tell me and not be telling other people. And
Yeah.
what's it called? And yeah, and I blocked her, and then they would always hang out with her, and I think they were gonna go watch a Fast and Furious movie, and at that time, I loved Fast and Furious, and the girl told these two friends of mine, like, "Oh, Addis doesn't even like Fast and Furious, so we're not gonna invite her, right?" And they took that girl's word, and to me, that was just like, nah, I'm good. You guys can go do whichever you guys want. And I think I posted about it back then. Everybody would post about how they were feeling, and I want to
Mm-hmm.
say these two girls, I and Jay, saw it, and they were texting me like, "Hey, can we come to your house? We want to talk to you." And I was like, "No, I'm good. I'm trying to do something right now." And they still showed up, and they tried to talk about it, but I just didn't feel like the friendship was there anymore.
Mm.
What? They showed up at the house?
Yeah, they showed up and they were talking to me about the post and how this other girl S was the one who wanted to go to the movies, and how it wasn't like their idea, but they had gone along with it without really like questioning it. And I was like, LOL. I'm like, that's funny because if you look at what I posted like a week ago, excited about the new Fast and Furious movie, but yet you guys said that I didn't like Fast and Furious, so I don't know about you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's when I kind of like let the friendship go, and I was like, I'm done.
That's like with me and my was best friend from high school. We're like in high school, uh we I don't think we had any I know we did have a class together for a few maybe. But like after we graduated, we would literally like text every day. And I feel like we hung out pretty often. Like I'd go to her house, she'd come to ours, and
Wait, is
then
this E?
who?
Is this?
Oh no, that was like elementary.
Oh, okay, never mind.
And this is A.
Ah, her.
And so, because I still spoke to her, like we went to college together. I don't think we had a ton of classes together, maybe just like the general ed stuff, but nothing that was based on my degree or her degree at the time.
hmm
And when I first moved out of California and moved to Michigan, we would text like almost every day. And I want to say, I want to say maybe within like the first or second year, she would like maybe start messaging like once a week,
hmm
possibly twice a week. And she might have had her boyfriend by that time. We used to Snapchat a lot together. Like we had a streak and everything. And eventually she got off Snapchat, and I used to send her like a bunch of memes on Instagram, and
Is
then
this
she
when
got off
sorry to
Instagram.
interrupt. Is this when she got her boyfriend?
Yeah,
Okay.
like her boyfriend didn't want her on social media because they were long distance, and he didn't trust her because his ex cheated on him, through social media. So that took away a form of communication for us. Like, even though it wasn't direct, it was like, oh, I thought this post was funny. I was thinking about you and thought you'd enjoy it, so I sent it to her. And so I couldn't do that anymore. So I would like screenshot posts and send them to her through text since she didn't have social media anymore.
And then I was like, I tried.
Yeah. And so eventually, like, maybe I want to say, like, let's see, my child is going to be 2 this year. Maybe like 3 or 4 years ago, one of us, possibly me, gave, because she wouldn't respond like anymore. Like, she would reply like days later. Like, if I sent her a message, she would sometimes reply like, I want to say within 20 minutes. And then eventually it would get to the point where she would reply like 2 days later, 3 days later, 4 days later. And then at one point I gave up, because she wasn't replying anymore. She wasn't being engaged in conversation anymore. So I gave up, and I want to say maybe like almost a year went by, and I went back to our messages and realized that whole time she never replied to me. So I messaged her, and I said, I was pregnant at the time. I was like entering my last trimester. I messaged her, and surprisingly, she messaged back. And I was trying to rekindle things, because I didn't want to give up on the friendship because we had been friends for so long. And she did message me like in the beginning, and it was it was almost like, we never stopped talking. And she messaged me for like the first week or two, and then she would message like every, not message, but reply to my messages like 2 days later, 3 days later. And so I said, I'm not gonna go through this again. So I did tell her, like, I sent her a really long message explaining how I felt, as to it felt really one-sided, and that she a friendship is a two-way street. I can't just be the one, chopping down the wood, putting it in the fire, and you just sit there by the fire until the fire goes out, and then here I go again, chop more wood, put more wood in the fire. And
that's a good analogy.
Said,
I know. I'm like, at least put a fire around or something. Move the wood around.
And then she decided, well, not that she decided, but she was saying how she had been going through a hard time. And I told her, I was like, well, don't leave me in the dark if you're going through a hard time. Like, let me know, and I can be there for you as much as possible, since where she's in California and I was in, actually, it might have been in Texas.
I think you were, yeah.
And I was in Texas, and we did good, I want to say, for like maybe a few months. And we kind of stopped talking for like, this was like towards the end of the year, after my child was born. And maybe like I stopped talking to her in October, and my child was born in July. So it was like an on and off friendship for like a year, in 2023. And then I invited her to Cammie's birthday party. And that was pretty much the determining factor for me, as to whether the friendship was going to continue or not. And so I gave her a hug at Cammie's birthday party. Her mom went with her, and I'm good friends with her mom too. And her mom's really nice. And the whole time she was there, she pretty much wouldn't acknowledge me, really.
They didn't want to eat.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's fine if she didn't want to eat, you know. I don't,
Mm,
I mean, that didn't bug me too much. I was like, you know, I think she had said that they ate before they
okay.
got there or something, but, you know, I didn't really care about that. But I would try to talk to her and try to catch up on life, see how she was doing. And she would answer my questions, but there was never any engagement like back on her end. Like she never asked me anything. Like there was just no effort, and it almost felt like she didn't want to be there because I mean, I don't know how long they were there, but like I just felt like it was her and her mom having a conversation, and like I was interrupting them every single time that I tried to talk to her. So I just eventually gave up and just like sat there next to her pretty much.
Yeah, I
And that's like
remember they were like
that's the
very
last time we
into like
spoke.
their own thing. They weren't like trying to converse with anybody else or anything.
Yeah.
Mm.
That friendship was hard for me to let go because like we were really good friends and it just went down the toilet. The fire went out. I stopped chopping wood. I left.
You gave up your life as a lumberjack.
Yeah.
I think after like INJ, I think I stopped caring as much about friendships, which is kind of sad, but like I don't think I have cared about it. Not that I haven't cared, it's just that I don't put as much effort as I used to. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think I should probably change that about myself. But I don't know. I just feel like I have everything I want in a way. Like I feel like I have Nena and Lily's, and Nena and Lily's are like my friends in a way, other than just my sisters.
Oh yeah.
And then Chel, because I grew up with you, I feel like we're like sisters slash
Hmm.
friends slash cousins.
Yeah.
All of the above.
Yeah. So
But
like
it's
I
like
don't feel like I need
it's also
more, but I don't know.
help but it's also helpful too that we're like all very close in age.
Yeah.
And you know, like me and Ches, we entered like, you know, the same stage in life as becoming parents and we can relate with
Mm-hmm.
each other.
Mm-hmm.
And I think too that just, you know, being friends with your siblings, cousins is a lot easier, you know, because you're family. But, you know, you can depend on them
Yeah.
for everything, and you don't have to question whether they even want to be friends with you. I mean, they are related to you because they have no choice, but you know, they choose to be there even though they are family.
Honestly, have you guys ever had to like break up a friendship, like break up like a friendship with somebody just because it was just too much or too toxic or I don't know.
I don't think it's ever been like a breakup like Nana explained. I think it's been more of like just not engaging slowly, or like if it was a friend group, you just kind of stop hanging out with that friend group, you know? You just kind of like
Yeah,
distance yourself. I don't think it's ever been like a breakup where it's gone cold turkey,
Okay.
yeah.
at least for me.
I don't think I've ever like been like, you know what? I can't be friends with you. Get
My
out of
mom
my
said I can't be
life.
friends with you no more. I'm just kidding. Oh my goodness. You remember and one time when A was gonna I don't know what she was gonna do. She said she was gonna like sleep over or something at our house. And she's like, yeah, I can do what I want. I'm 18. And then she goes, as long as my mom says it's okay.
Yeah.
I just thought about that right now. That was funny. Um, I don't think I've ever had a friendship breakup either. Like where we like say like, hey, this friendship is done with and over with.
It's not working out. It's you,
Yeah,
not me.
it's you. It's not me. No, I don't think I've ever had one of those before either. More just like die out, by
Hmm.
itself.
Yeah.
But I've never had to do that. Break up with my friends. What are some like lessons we have learned from past friendships? That's what I want to talk about. Like maybe like what did you go through in one friendship where you realize that's something that you never want to go through again, or like boundaries you have to set within friendships. Like it doesn't have to be verbal, but just like within yourself, where you're like, okay, I won't let this person, if another person, do this, or even just like mental health. Like like distance because of your mental health?
I feel like if it's a relationship or friendship with like that you really value, understand that there might be some dry periods where you'll just
Mm-hmm.
lose connection because life takes its course. But then it's also nice to just like randomly check in on that person. Um, and even though you guys can't meet up, even like a simple like text, like I saw you posted this, how'd that go? Or, we should get together soon. Like some kind of like checking in and keeping that friendship alive is
Mm-hmm.
good. But it's definitely like we've said, it definitely takes two to tango.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I honestly really do just have like one true friend right now, but uh like I don't
But
expect her to text me every single day. Like what we like to do is just catch up, like every Sunday, once a week, catch up, how was your week? Anything new happen? Or, because I understand that she can't message me every day.
Mm-hmm.
She has a husband, she has a life, she has dogs, she has a baby. So, I understand, that I can't be all up in her business 24/7 saying, so like, what you doing? Still feeding that dog? You know?
Okay.
One of the things I've learned is that I mean, I don't even know the right way to word it. I basically don't like I don't care about like how many friends I have
Mm-hmm.
because like I'm not gonna be, oh my gosh, I need to have like 5 good girlfriends, so that I have a. It's hard to explain. What?
quality over quantity.
Reputation?
Who said that?
Kyle's telling me reputation.
What?
Yeah, it is quantity, but
Mm-hmm.
like a flower, or bushes, roses, whatever, a tree, you
A
have to
plant.
water it. Well, we're back to the trees. Why did I say trees? Uh,
But yeah, no, it's right. You have to water it. You have to take care of it, maintain it.
yeah, and you don't want to overwater it because you don't want to bend over backwards for
Mm-hmm.
someone who's not going to give you the time of day. So
And I feel like also as life takes its course, you're going to run into so many people where you can potentially develop new friendships,
Oh
oh
yeah.
at
yeah,
different stages in life. Because I feel like as you go on in life, you have different types of friends, like your childhood friends, the ones that you grew up with and went to school with, the ones from high school, the ones from college, the ones in your adult life, and the ones like later on in life. So I feel like even though, you lose friends, I feel like there's always opportunity to gain new ones. So,
Mm-hmm.
so it may not be, maybe we shouldn't consider them losing a friend, but like leaving the opportunity to
For another one.
have a better, yeah, have like a better relationship that's maybe even more worth it than, the one you lost.
That's true.
yeah. It's almost like a lesson learned.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
They brought
A
some
reason,
good.
season, or a lifetime.
I've
Yeah.
always heard to like when you end any type of relationship, what's something that you've learned from that relationship, um, so that you always take that into your next relationship. It doesn't have to be like a romantic relationship, but it could be like also like a friendship. Like what's something that
Yeah.
you learned in that friendship that you're taking into your next friendship.
And it teaches you too, like the boundaries you're willing to, put up or let down for people.
Oh yeah, and then as you like go through life, I feel like you find the what your boundaries are. Like with one of our
Right.
relatives, I learned that my boundary is to not respond to that person. That's one of my boundaries that I learned.
Yeah, I agree.
Or how about like have you guys ever tried like merging different friend groups together?
Yes. Not so much like individually, but more as like couples.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we've merged a few different couples together. And it's worked out. We actually have plans to go out this Friday together.
Mm.
And I think they've all been here at our house at one point, and it just works. But we're also all in the same age group,
Yeah.
and this is going through like the same stages of life. I know there's like other friends that it might just not work with, like some couples with other couples might just not work just because I don't know, like their personalities are different, their
Mm-hmm.
interests are different. But I feel like for the most part, we became friends with a lot of other couples where now we're all friends. And it has been quite fun, like merging them together and just going out for like drinks or dinner or just hanging out. Because, you start following each other on social media and like, oh, okay, like, because, we'll have barbecues and then we'll invite all of them for the next barbecue so then they
Mm-hmm.
see each other again and they start developing their own real friendships. So that's kind of cool. Yeah,
I always
that's
feel
pretty cool.
iffy, like merging friends sometimes. I always feel weird because I'm like, oh, are they even gonna clash? Like, are they gonna get along? Are they not gonna get along?
So I feel like you would know though, just
The
based on like the
personality.
personalities. Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like you would definitely know because, like I said, there's some friends that like it just be no, just because the interests are so different,
Mm-hmm.
and what we do with one set of friends isn't necessarily what we do when we hang out with another
Another
set of
set.
friends. Yeah,
Yeah.
so not that one's bad or the other one's good. It's just the interests are different. So just the way you guys hang out and what you guys do on your spare time together is different. Like who you go to brunch with and wine tasting isn't necessarily or it might not be the same people that you would go out with on a Friday night type of thing. It's just, different. But I feel like you would definitely know. And I feel like I've gotten to know that when they all get invited for like a birthday party or when they all get invited. I think mainly that's what it is when they all get
Birthday
invited
parties.
to like a birthday party
Yeah.
because obviously you want all your friends there, but the interests are just different. So the ones that we do have the same interests with, we have invited each other to hang out,
Mm-hmm.
um, or we'll have plans to go out with a couple and they'll be like, oh, invite so and so. And we're like, oh, okay, cool. They're getting along or, they're interested in having a friendship or being around them. So obviously that's going well. So, okay, cool. So now instead of four of us, now it's six. But yeah, I mean, there's some people that, like it's just not going to work and not because one's mean and the other one's not. It's just different personalities, different interests, and I don't know, it's just different. I
Yeah.
don't know how else to say it.
It's just different. Yeah, no, some people just don't mix.
Hmm.
Mhm. Some people are like oil and vinegar.
I thought it was oil and water.
Not that they would like
No.
fight though. It's just
Well, no, it's just like I have a group of friends that really like to drink a lot, and I probably wouldn't bring them around my like a couple of my friends from my book club because I feel like my book club and them probably wouldn't mix that much.
right
You
because
know?
there's
Oh
always
yeah.
people that are a little more reserved and other people that are a little more outgoing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like I went to a concert one time and I invited one of my friends who I don't hang out with her solo a lot, but I had an extra ticket and I told her like, hey, Ben, like just come and we'll go to this concert. I don't know if you guys remember when Karin Leon was at the Mid State Fair. Everybody wanted to go.
Mm-mm.
Hmm.
So I invited her because one of my friends was feeling sick. So her and then my other friend actually got like they got along so good, and I was like, oh, I didn't expect this. Like
Right.
I
Yeah.
didn't see it coming. I just invited my friend because I had an extra ticket and I didn't want the ticket to go to waste and I knew that she was always down for stuff. So
Hmm.
that's what we did, and it's like a friendship that I guess they kind of developed into a little friendship that day. I don't know if they follow each other on social media actually. They might. I don't
I
know.
like when that happens.
Yeah, me
So like
too.
Hmm.
when you
When the
bring
vibes are just
someone
there.
new,
Hmm.
yeah. It's like, all right, that's great. Let's have fun.
For real. Nana, have you ever had to like merge friends or try to like merge different friend groups together?
I don't think I have had different friend groups and merged them. The only thing that has happened, like I want to say either 2 or 3 times, is where it was in high school where we would get a new kid from, like completely new to town.
Mm-hmm.
And somehow they would always end up sitting close to me, so I would talk to them and then invite them to hang out with my friends. And both times, I want to say they hung out with my friends and I for lunch, just their first day, and then I never saw them again.
Mm-hmm.
And it never bothered me, because I was just trying to help them, get around school and find people who they want to hang out with.
Actually, that happened to me one time too, where I would think it was high school. I met this girl. Her name was Surya, and I remember she was like the new kid in school because I think she had came from. I don't know if it was a different school or she had moved here from a different city. I don't know, something like that. And it was funny how we met. She started her time of the month and she had a stain on her pants. And I told her, I'm like, hey, just so you know, like you have a stain on your pants. So she grabbed the sweater and she's like, oh my God, thank you. And I remember since that moment until like the end of high school, we were pretty good friends. Like I really liked her. I think mom would give her a ride to her house because I think she lived kind of where Ched lives in a way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I remember that was one friendship that started with a funny story. Because I don't see myself ever doing like that where I like tell somebody like, hey, you have this or that. But at the time I felt like bad because, I'm a girl and that could happen to me. And yeah. I always think of myself as shy, but people tell me I'm like a social butterfly.
I feel like you are.
I think like once I get to know people, I am.
Yeah, I feel like you're like a little chatterbox.
Oh yeah.
I feel like I can be both.
Yeah,
like in the
it
right
depends
crowd,
on the
huh?
setting.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like if you feel the vibes. That's like when I meet like new people and stuff, I feel like people don't like me because I'm quiet. But I'm just like observing and seeing like, okay, so that's how they are. Like that's something I could talk to them about, Like it's not that I'm like trying to be quiet.
If I'm observing the crowd, I tend to go for the other person who is quiet and keeping to themselves.
The last thing I wanted to mention was like if you guys had ever been like a bad friend. It can be unintentional. Intentional.
Never.
It sounded fake, Chen.
I know. I mean, definitely not intentionally, but I can't think of a time where I was told maybe, like not realizing it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I was, but I don't know. I can't remember a time where I was maybe told.
I don't think I was told I was a bad friend. I just think I did something where I didn't realize I was doing something bad. So like friend A told me that friend Y had texted, I forgot her name, but this other girl's boyfriend, supposedly he had texted friend Y. And friend Y had kind of like blew him off, told him like, hey, you have a girlfriend, you can't talk to me like this. And friend A told this other girl named friend N told friend Y that friend N had mentioned to the girlfriend about the texting when in fact it was friend A that had mentioned it. And so I texted friend Y. I was like, hey, I heard what happened with friend A and friend N. Yeah, are you okay? And she told me, what did you hear? And I told her, friend A told me that she mentioned to this girl that about the boyfriend. And she's like, friend A told her? And I'm like, yeah. And she goes, oh, I heard friend N had told her. Friend A and friend N were like really, really good friends. They were like best friends.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess their friendship broke up. And yeah. So friend N was mad at me because I spilled the beans, but I didn't know I was spilling any beans, which kind of sucked because friend N were like really good friends too. And I had heard afterwards that friend N was actually telling them that they thought before this ever happened, like when they first met me, that she didn't like me, that she felt like something about me was like weird. And they're like, no, she seems like a really nice girl. And I got and what they thought was it was because me and friend Y were really good friends and we like really clicked right away. And we would always hang out by ourselves. We'd hang out with the group, whatever. And so they thought that friend N was kind of jealous. And ever since then, she's never really liked me. But she would always hang out with me by myself. Like we would go to concerts together. So I just thought that was kind of weird. But then when this broke down, it just kind of like everything just ended right there. So that's the time that I was a bad friend. Chen, you don't have any stories?
No, not dramatic like that.
No drama.
I'm a good friend.
You're good. You're a good friend. You keep secrets? No, I'm just kidding.
I do.
Well, I didn't know it was gonna be a secret. If they would have told me, I probably wouldn't have said anything.
I tell Daniel, and then Daniel tells me his friend's secrets.
I mean, yeah, like if like Francisco tells me something, I'll probably like keep it to myself more than likely. Or
Yeah.
I feel like like how they say like the only way a secret stays a secret is if you don't tell anybody, but you always want to tell that friend. If your friends tell you a secret, would you tell your boyfriend that secret just so you have somebody to talk to about it?
I don't think it's ever really a secret. I feel like a lot of times we're like, oh, guess what happened? Or hey, this happened with so and so. I don't think it's ever like a secret. It's just like an event or something that happened, or we were out somewhere and we're like, hey, did you see when this and this happened?
Okay.
We'll recap.
But I mean, like you guys are usually together too. I mean, unless you're like hanging out 101 on with your friends or something. But
well, we do go out together, obviously, but like a lot of the times when we go out, like I'll go mingle with like the girls, or he'll go mingle with the guys, or I'll walk to the bathroom, and then so or like the guys will get up and go get us a drink, so something happens at the bar. So sometimes it's not even necessarily with like somebody in our friend group. He'll just be like, oh yeah, when we went to go get a drink at the bar, there was this person and this person over here, and whatever, and then the boyfriend walked back. So it's not necessarily like something with somebody that we know. It's just something that happens that he'll tell me.
Okay. I noticed a lot of my past friendships are like drama.
I don't think I've been a bad friend because I always try to do what's good, but I have had many bad friends. And
I bet you anything they probably would say that they were not being bad friends.
well, they're just like, people who are selfish and don't care about other people's feelings. So.
Oh yeah.
But that's like perspective.
Yeah.
People's perspective.
I can say this: when you want to grow and evolve as a person, you have to admit to your faults and your flaws and move on with them and try to better yourself. Okay, I think that is the end of the podcast. Let me do the outro and then we can just say bye. Thank you so much for tuning in today and spending some time with us. Feel free to share your personal experiences in the comments. We always love hearing from our listeners. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to follow or subscribe and join us next Wednesday where we have more conversation coming your way. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.